The hidden cause of inner chaos. What if the peace you've been searching for has been inside you all along? Not in your next achievement, not in more money, not even in the perfect relationship, but right here, within you. And yet, most of us never feel it. We live in a world that never slows down. Notifications never stop, expectations keep rising, and no matter how much we do, it somehow never feels like enough. You wake up in the morning, reach for your phone, and before your day even begins, your mind is already racing. Emails, messages, news, social media, a constant stream of noise pulling your attention in every direction. And somewhere in that chaos, you lose yourself. You try to stay productive, you try to stay positive, you try to stay in control, but deep down, there's a quiet exhaustion, a feeling that no matter how fast you move, peace keeps slipping away. The truth is, this isn't just your experience, it's the human condition. And over 2,500 years ago, there was someone who understood this deeply, not as a theory, but as a lived reality. The teachings of Buddhism don't begin with blind belief. They begin with a simple observation. Life, as we experience it, contains suffering. Not just obvious pain, like loss or failure, but subtle, constant dissatisfaction. That feeling that something is missing, that things could always be better, that you're not quite where you should be. In Buddhism, this is called dukkha, and it shows up in ways we don't always notice. You get what you wanted, but the happiness doesn't last. You avoid something painful, but the fear remains. You achieve a goal and immediately set another one. It's an endless cycle, always chasing, always resisting, always wanting life to be different than it is. But here's where it gets interesting. Buddhist wisdom doesn't say that suffering exists to make you feel hopeless. It says suffering exists to wake you up. Because once you understand it, you can begin to move beyond it. One of the deepest insights is this: much of our inner turmoil doesn't come from the world itself, but from our attachment to it. We attach to outcomes. We want things to go a certain way. We expect people to behave how we imagine. We build plans and assume life will follow them. And when reality doesn't match our expectations, we feel frustrated, anxious, disappointed. Think about it. How often do you feel stressed, not because of what is happening, but because of what you want to happen? You want success faster, you want people to understand you, you want certainty about the future. And when those things aren't guaranteed, your mind starts spinning. In today's world, this attachment is stronger than ever. We compare our lives to others online. We measure our worth through productivity. We chase validation through likes, comments, and external approval. And without realizing it, we build our happiness on things we can't control. That's why it feels so unstable. But Buddhist wisdom offers a different perspective. It doesn't tell you to stop living, stop working, or stop caring. It invites you to see things clearly, to recognize that everything is constantly changing, that no outcome is permanent, that no external condition can guarantee lasting peace. And more importantly, it teaches that clinging to these things is what creates suffering in the first place. This doesn't mean you shouldn't have goals. It doesn't mean you shouldn't love deeply or pursue success. It means you learn to engage with life without losing yourself in it, to act without becoming attached, to care without becoming dependent, to move forward without constantly resisting what is. Imagine what that would feel like: working hard but not being consumed by results, loving someone without the fear of losing them controlling you, facing uncertainty without anxiety taking over your mind. That's what inner balance looks like. Not a perfect life,
but a peaceful relationship with whatever life brings. The problem is, most of us were never taught how to do this. We were taught to achieve more, to compete, to improve constantly, but rarely were we taught how to sit with our thoughts, how to understand our emotions, or how to find stillness within ourselves. So we keep searching, externally, for something that has always been internal. And this is where the journey begins, not by changing the world around you, but by understanding the patterns within you, by noticing how your mind reacts, how it clings, how it resists, and slowly learning to let go. Because the truth is, peace is not something you find once everything is perfect. It's something you cultivate even when things are not. So, if you've been feeling overwhelmed, if your mind never seems to stop, if you've been searching for balance but don't know where to begin, you're not alone. And more importantly, there is a way forward. In the next part, we'll explore simple yet powerful Buddhist principles you can start applying in your daily life, so you don't just understand peace, you begin to experience it. If you're looking for simple, practical wisdom to live a calmer and more balanced life, consider subscribing to Buddha Flash, because sometimes the smallest shift in awareness can change everything.
Practical principles for everyday balance. Understanding why we suffer is powerful, but insight alone doesn't change your life. What truly makes a difference is how you live each day. Because peace isn't something you think about, it's something you practice. One of the most essential teachings in Buddhist wisdom is mindfulness. At its core, mindfulness means being fully present, not lost in the past, not anxious about the future, but grounded in this moment. Think about how often your mind drifts. You're eating, but thinking about work. You're working, but thinking about what could go wrong. You're resting, but still feeling restless inside. Your body is here, but your mind is somewhere else. And that disconnect creates tension. Mindfulness brings you back. It's the simple act of paying attention on purpose without judgment. When you drink a cup of coffee, you actually taste it. When you walk, you feel each step. When you breathe, you notice the rhythm of your breath. Nothing changes externally, but internally, everything becomes calmer. This is where balance begins, not by controlling life, but by being present for it. Another powerful principle is letting go. Now, letting go doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop trying to control what you cannot control. So much of our stress comes from holding on too tightly. We hold on to expectations. We hold on to outcomes. We hold on to how we think things should be. And when reality doesn't match, we suffer. Letting go is the practice of releasing that grip. You still take action, you still give your best, but you don't tie your inner peace to the result. Imagine working toward a goal without constant anxiety. Imagine doing your best and being okay with whatever happens next. That's freedom. In Buddhism, this way of living is often connected to the middle way, a path of balance. Not too extreme, not too passive. In modern life, we often swing between extremes. We overwork until we burn out. Then we withdraw and feel unmotivated. We try to control everything, or we give up completely. Neither leads to peace. The middle way invites you to find stability between those extremes, to work hard but also rest, to care deeply but not lose yourself, to stay disciplined but not rigid. It's not about perfection, it's about awareness, noticing when you're out of balance,
and gently returning. Another key teaching is compassion, and not just for others, but for yourself. Many people are incredibly hard on themselves. They replay mistakes. They criticize their own thoughts. They feel like they're never doing enough. And this inner pressure creates constant stress. But Buddhist wisdom reminds us, you cannot find peace while being at war with yourself. Self-compassion doesn't mean making excuses. It means treating yourself with the same understanding you would offer a friend. When you struggle, instead of saying, "Why am I like this?" you shift to, "This is a difficult moment, and that's okay." That small change softens the mind. It creates space, and in that space, peace can grow. Compassion for others works the same way. When someone acts out of anger or frustration, it's easy to react, to defend, to argue, to escalate. But when you pause and see that their behavior may come from pain, your response changes. You become less reactive, more grounded, more in control of your own state. And that leads to another powerful practice, non-judgmental awareness. Most of us don't just experience thoughts, we judge them immediately. This is bad, I shouldn't feel this way, this thought is wrong. But the more you resist your thoughts, the stronger they become. Buddhist wisdom teaches a different approach. You observe your thoughts without attaching to them, like clouds passing through the sky. They appear, they change, they disappear. You begin to realize you are not your thoughts, you are the awareness behind them. And that realization is incredibly freeing, because it means you don't have to believe everything your mind tells you. To bring all of this together, here's a simple practice you can use anytime you feel overwhelmed. Pause, breathe, observe, let go. Pause whatever you're doing. Take a slow breath. Notice what's happening inside you. Not to fix it, not to judge it, just to see it clearly. Then, gently, let it be. You don't need a perfect environment to feel calm. You don't need to escape your life. You just need a moment of awareness. And the more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. But here's something important to remember. Understanding these ideas is not enough. You can listen to wisdom all day, but if you don't apply it, nothing changes. Real transformation happens in small daily moments. When you choose to pause instead of react. When you choose to breathe instead of panic. When you choose to let go instead of hold on. These small shifts may seem simple, but over time, they completely change how you experience life. Because peace isn't found in big breakthroughs, it's built in quiet moments of awareness. And in the next part, we'll explore how to bring these principles into your real everyday life, so you can stay calm and balanced even in a world that never stops moving.
Living with peace in a busy world. Knowing these principles is one thing. Living them is something else entirely. Because the real challenge isn't understanding peace, it's maintaining it in the middle of real life. You still have responsibilities. You still face pressure. You still deal with uncertainty, relationships, and expectations. The world doesn't slow down, but you can learn how to move differently within it. A calm and balanced life doesn't mean escaping reality. It means engaging with it without losing your center. It starts with something simple: how you begin your day. Most people wake up and immediately enter chaos. They check their phone, they scroll through notifications, they react to the world before they've even connected with themselves. But imagine starting your day differently.
Before reaching for your phone, you pause. You take a breath. You notice how you feel. You allow yourself a moment of stillness. Just a few minutes. No distractions, no pressure. That small shift sets the tone for everything that follows. Instead of reacting, you begin your day grounded. And that grounding becomes your anchor, especially when things get difficult, because they will. Stress at work, unexpected problems, moments where emotions rise quickly. In those moments, the difference isn't what happens, it's how you respond. Buddhist wisdom teaches a powerful idea. Respond, don't react. Reaction is automatic. It's driven by habit, by emotion, by unconscious patterns. Response, on the other hand, comes from awareness. It creates a gap, a moment where you can choose. When someone says something that upsets you, you can pause. Instead of immediately reacting with anger, you breathe. You notice what you're feeling, and from that awareness, you respond with clarity. That one shift can change everything: your relationships, your decisions, your inner state. Another challenge of modern life is constant comparison. Social media shows you curated versions of other people's lives, their success, their happiness, their highlights. And without realizing it, you start measuring your life against theirs. You feel behind, not good enough, like you should be doing more. But Buddhist wisdom reminds us of something essential. Everything is impermanent. Success changes, circumstances change, emotions change. Even the people you compare yourself to are experiencing struggles you cannot see. When you truly understand impermanence, comparison begins to lose its power, because you realize there is no fixed standard to chase, no permanent state to reach. There is only this moment and how you choose to live in it. Another common struggle is anxiety about the future. What if things go wrong? What if I fail? What if I'm not ready? The mind loves to create scenarios, most of which never happen. But each time you get pulled into those thoughts, you leave the present moment, and with it, your sense of peace. Coming back to the present doesn't mean ignoring the future. It means not letting imagined outcomes control your emotions. You still plan, you still prepare, but you don't live in fear of what hasn't happened. And over time, this creates a deep sense of stability, because you begin to understand something powerful. Peace is not dependent on certainty. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need awareness and the willingness to return to it again and again and again. And in that return, you will find the calm and balance you've been searching for. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe to Buddha Flash for more simple and powerful wisdom to help you live a calmer, more balanced life. And before you go, take a moment to reflect. What is one thing in your life that you find hardest to let go of? Share it in the comments, because sometimes the first step towards peace is simply being honest about what we're holding on to.